Welcome to today's episode. What I want to talk about today is the type of content that you consume, okay? Now, I followed for many years a guy named Pat Flynn, and I still follow him now. Back in the day, he had a blog many years ago, and I got into this thing, and it's like you study it, and you learn it, and you do all these different things, and that's how I started my internet marketing career, following a guy. And he told me exactly what to do and how to do it, which was awesome. And back then it was blogs, but nobody reads blogs in the same way they did before. Now it's moved over to podcasts and these things. Same as the way with books. I have these 5 books right here. I just pull them off my shelf. Amazing. These are all fantastic, really phenomenal books. And I will say, any of these, anything that you do to study, okay, long form content will have so much more influence and impact on your life than short form. So like this podcast is going to be very short, it's probably like 15 minutes, something like that, maybe less. And how much are you going to do? What am I going to say in 2 seconds that's going to change everything? Probably not a lot. Like, listen, we know certain things. You work hard, it's going to be good. If you study and you learn how to work harder or better, that's going to be better. Like, you know what you can do, and a lot of us then don't do it, or we spend time, messing around. Video games, TV, scrolling on, called doom scrolling or whatever, just being on social media. And it's like, if you knew that you could do something else that was way better and somehow would make your life so much more fun, fulfilled, everything else, would you do it? Yes, you probably would. But we have this kind of tendency to not do the things we know that we should do. So one thing that I know that I need to do, and sometimes I do it better than others, is reading. I've just listened to an audiobook the last 2 days for 5 hours. It's amazing. Oh, spectacular. I mean, I really love this book. It's by our future Vice President, J.D. Vance. It's called Hillbilly Elegy. An elegy is like a sad story about somebody, or like a memoir. And it goes over his life. And I will tell you, it is so amazing reading someone going from the bottom of the bottom and then crazy households and all that stuff. And you get a deep understanding about a person, and you learn the top lessons that a person has, in this case, J.D. Vance, in his entire life are encapsulated in 6.5 hours of his audiobook. No matter what, you sit with the guy, people have I could have a dinner with somebody, if you went from the past and got some random person and had a lunch dinner with them, who would it be? In a dinner, if you spend a half an hour, 45 minute, 1 hour dinner, there's only so much you're going to learn. You would actually be better off in learning more from a Steve Jobs, a Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, whoever mentor, whatever person you want to talk to. You're going to get more from that person reading their books and what they wrote in long time than having a chat with them. Your life is not going to change by sitting down and seeing Jeff Bezos and shaking his hand. Nothing's going to change. You might get excited for a second, that's it. Yet these books right here, okay, Be Obsessive, Be Average, Atomic Habits, The End of Marketing is to Know It, Psychology of Money, Fall of Advertising, Rise of PR. Each of these books are a person's taken months and months of their life to tell you exactly what to do. And here, I'm not just pitching to you, I'm pitching to myself. Because I always have to remind myself, I need to read. Okay, I'm on a walk, I'm going to read. Oh, I'm in my car, audiobook. Okay, I'm doing, and I make myself do it, because if I don't, then I forget, and I have to drive and push myself to read, because I know it's good for me, and I know that I'm going to learn things, and every time I do it, I go, wow, I should have done this again. I should have done this before. So I'm still working on my book, because you can listen to 10 hours of my podcast, and it's all separate topics and separate subjects, and yes, hopefully, if I'm doing my job, you get nuggets and great things out of each interview, out of each episode. Now, a level above that is I give you the full map of exactly what to do, which is what I've been doing on my course, right? AaronCordovez.com/course. And I'm taking all that and going through the entire process. Everything you actually need to do to start, let's say, a brand on Amazon, that's a tactical. This is a set of actions to make a brand on Amazon and make profit. That's awesome. That's very good. I think it's a fantastic. Now, can I put it in a book format? It might be a little bit harder, because I have, an equivalent of 6 hours, like J.D. Vance's book, right? You have a certain finite time to get a full message across that a person can study over and over, and it has gems that you may not get at the first sentence, but if you read it again, you might get it. Read the paragraph again, you might get it. And so that's my task, but people across time have done this and are sharing it with you. So my, advice for today, and this is advice for myself, and I'm trying to follow it. And in a book, I might read during a year, I might read about 15 books or so, which is not enough. It's about one a month. And I want to get up to do it more. And so this message to myself, but read more books. And if let's say it's a bad book and you didn't like it, well, even in a bad book, there's a couple of good things in it. And you just be smart enough to say, this is dumb, I don't want to follow it, and leave that aside, right? You have the power to make your own decisions, make your own choices, see what's true for you, and try it out. But if you never went around to actually even getting around ideas that could be helpful, how do you know if they're good or not? If you never even tried it, you never had an idea. So, thank you guys for listening to me, okay? I don't have a crazy social media following, all these things. I know really, like, selling on Amazon that I know pretty well. And that's it. Social media, all that stuff, like, I don't have crazy viral videos. Not yet. And I will go and study that. And I have, like, all my books actually have not been about social media. It's been about, like, selling online and, like, selling products and, like, marketing and these things. And so I haven't really applied it to these interviews and my podcast, but I do want to. Now, if you can put a comment or message here, what do you want to hear about? Are there topics that you want to hear about? Are there people that you'd like me to interview? And I'm toying with this idea now of doing more of a Lex Friedman style, Joe Rogan style type podcast where I take someone who I generally want to just spend time with and sit down and do a long interview, like 2 to 3 hours, and get a lot of that person. Because I feel like when you sit for 2 to 3 hours with somebody, you can get a lot of information, cover a lot of topics. Like my interview I did with Jabron Niaz. I wanted to talk longer. I had to take my kids and I stopped it. But like, we talked to the time when I just saw him in New York and we talked for, I don't know, 2 3 hours. And like, so many good things there. I wish I had it, to share with you guys, but I didn't. So long interviews. Would you like a long interview? Would you listen to it? And if so, who would you want me to talk to? And is that a good idea? On a different side, do you want more listing teardowns? Do you want to talk about more ads? Like, what part of Amazon, whether you're a new seller or an experienced seller, what do you want to hear about? Because I'm happy to, go and talk about it. I feel like my course is doing pretty well. I like it. Like, it's serving the purpose of the people who come here. Wednesday nights, we have the meeting here in the office. It's phenomenal. People are learning a lot. People are starting their brands, making their orders, making sales. And I like it. It's a group. So if you want to be part of the group, by the way, please come over. This is open. Join the course. All the address and everything's in there. And otherwise, do long-form content. And I'm working on my best to make more long-form interviews with people who I find very interesting that I want to learn from. And while I learn from them, you can learn from them with me. And then second of all, if you have specific things you want to talk about, please put it in because I want to figure out what is needed on this show, right? You guys have connected with me. You trust me. If you're at this part of this video, I mean, you've been sitting and watching or running and watching, whatever it is, but listening to this, what do you want to know about? Product development, ads, structure of our company, loans, financing, banks. I mean, I don't know. So let me know, and hopefully this coming week, I'll be able to do a longer form interview, either on a specific topic you guys talk about, or with a guest who I'd like to do a long interview with. So that's all I got for now. Super fast. Guys, long form content, books. You're going to be way better off listening to an audiobook, any of these an audiobook, than, listening to, like, scrolling on thing and getting 10-minute little clips. Longer form content has been the best thing, at least for me to learn. So that's what I suggest. Pop out a book, pop out an audiobook, and hopefully mine will come out. So then at some point when you see this, you go and listen to or read my book. So that will come out. It is going to happen. All right. Peace.